Okay, so I showed you the ARPANET. I showed you the Queenie Cameron thing. All right. Now I want to show you this. Here's what Donald Trump wants to do in his first 100 days. So they make a big deal about it. I think they did it with Bush, and I think they did it with Obama, and they're doing it with him. This is ARPANET. There's another one called IARPA right here. See it? An IARPA. It says it's game-changing, paradigm-shifting, disruptive. These are all catchword government officials use to describe the desired outcome of intelligence advanced research project. Okay? The person that invented this is the one that did the human in the loop thing. That whatever her name is, Hamilton. Okay? But what's interesting here is if you read, it says its plan was unfolded at Odin's overarching strategy, overarching strategy for increased cohesion, the scattered organization, 100 planned for the integrated and collaboration source of the 100-day plan. Notice it's the same over here. According to the website, it will engage in high risk, high payoff. Hence, Alex Jones with his double down. Remember what double down means? High risk, high payoff. Now today, Trump used the word to double up, not double down. So high risk, high payoff. Research projects to accelerate the pace of intelligence gathering and analysis to ensure that the information systems are safe from intrusion. This is all computerized bullshit. It's like it's all bait and switch shit. You think you're seeing something, but you're not. So this is IARPA. Here's what Donald's doing in his first 100 days. Here's what IARPA does in its 100-day plan. Advanced Research Projects Activity. Don't tell me that ain't what this is, because it is, because it's all tied to this. Now, we're going to jump to something else that's affiliated with it. Maybe some of you have seen this, probably not, but let's take a look. Now, I'm going to show you, this is from 5 different things right here. Okay? You notice what's the deal? All of these guys are in black suits. See them here? This is from a Styx album called Cyclone Rama, which is a vortex. It means to spin. Here they're just showing you it as a carrot, because see, you ain't supposed to figure this out. If you look at this from Alan Parsons' project, the guys are hanging upside down, and who's hanging upside down with them? The clowns. See the clowns over there? Well, what's right here? A cycle and a clock. So what is being said here? Well, it's inverted. The polarity is inverted, right? So it means that the rotation is backwards. But that's not the important thing. So you got the black guys here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and then you got them here. This is from an album from the Hollies from the 60s. This is Pink Floyd. And what gives this away? Ah, there he is, the little crow sitting there. This is from Yes, Owner of a Lonely Heart. So it's all the same thing. But what is this thing? What does the carrot have to do with it? What does the carrot have to do with it? All right, let me take you back. Let's see if you remember. Now let's go back to the BBC Blackadder comedy. And what does this guy do? He's the prosecutor. What does he tell him?
My lord, you have a horse for black satin. Yes. Yes, and do you confess that on the 30th day of Norris time you did say to this horse black satin, and I quote, satin, would you like some carrots?
Well, I might have done. He likes carrots.
Carrots?
Yes, carrots.
Gentlemen, we all know that carrots are the devil's favorite food.
No, we don't. No, we don't. If the devil likes carrots, why isn't it mentioned in the Bible then? Why doesn't it say, and he took the Lord up to the top of an high mountain and offered him a carrot?
Isn't that some not eat carrots in the 10 Commandments? Answers! The 10 Commandments are Anonymous, in the appendix to the Apocrypha. And the Lord said unto the children of Benjamin, but neither shalt thou eat the fruit of the tree that is known as the carrot tree.
Carrots don't grow on trees.
Really? And how did you get to know so much about carrots, eh?
So my point being, he's saying that the carrot is, in the comedy, is the food of the devil. Now I'm going to tell you what I think it is. I mean, clearly, you got the same guys that you saw in the Matrix in black, the men in black, right? And they're surrounding this carrot, right? Hang on. In the original movie Tron, this was the CPU, the central processing unit. In other words, it was the brain. Looks pretty similar to the carrot, don't it? And if you remember this thing was spinning. It was spinning. Here he is here. He's called the master central processor in the Tron movie, 1982. Interesting that they put him in this configuration that we've come so well to know as the cube, right? Let me just show you one other thing. And so if we look here right at 33 seconds, see what he says.
A new recruit. It's a tough case, but I want him treated in the usual manner. Train him for the games, let him hope for a while, and blow him away.
Isn't it interesting that here's the seal here on this thing. Let me show you something else. So we look here, going back to the 100-day thing. The ultimate goal, artificial replicate of our own brain. Of course, although obviously both brains function very well, it could be the first step towards the creation of a neural map that could later be applied to the human brains. In the words of David Cox, who is the husband of what's her name, Margaret Hamilton, the one that did the Human in the Loop program, a Harvard professor, this is reverse engineering. If your competitor has launched a product that is much better than yours, you can buy it, open it, and try and figure out how it works. Basically, he's talking about figuring out how the brain works. So let's go back to the Queenie Cameron thing. Remember her page that said that she opened her account December 31st, 1969? Well, so I did some more looking, and let's see. What does it say? The history of the internet, the timeline, 1973. Right, there's that year that it's always come up, right? International ARPANET connections. The Ethernet is created in 1973. Isn't that interesting? Also saw the first international users, blah, blah, blah. It just goes on to say a bunch of other stuff. It went on later to form one of the largest networking companies in the world, 3Com. Isn't that interesting? 3Com. Now, I'm going to show you a picture, and I want you to go back to the video where I was trying to explain to you. Yeah, you'll get it when you see it. And here's 3Com's logo. You notice how these two are interlinked, and this one is not connected. Remember what I showed you? The 3 wires, or the 3 squares. I told you the white one wasn't working, so what? Remember? They're showing you that. They're showing you exactly what I told you. Doesn't make me smart. Doesn't make me wonderful. Doesn't mean that I'm in good with the Father or any of that. It's deductive reasoning and paying attention to things. Yeah, maybe there's a little bit of, I don't know what you'd fucking call it, higher, I don't even want to say spirituality, maybe just a different, higher sense of things, but hardly any better than any of you. So, I've been in it for so long that things just kind of fall into place. So there's 3Com. it's telling you that it's broke because all three of these are supposed to be interlinked for it to work correctly. And 3Com, you're communicating with 3. Well, who's 3 on the tree? Well, Saturn is, which this ether is a fractal or a remake of the original ether. And I got to be honest with you. In 8 years, I've met one person off of YouTube and my website. So, makes you wonder. And when we look at this from Pink Floyd, he's shaking hands with this guy who's on fire, and who's that? Well, those guys are called the Jinn. So, devils, genies, not, you get it. That's why he's on fire. That's why he's making the deal. That's why this little character over here is sitting up on top. Because everything I showed you works out to the same thing. So I don't know who I'm talking to you. It's nothing personal. I just have only met one of you in 8 years. And I've always appreciated your financial help, which you've always been gracious enough to help me out with my furthering my looking into this stuff. But it is weird that I've only met one person. So, not bitching, I'm just saying that it looks kind of odd. But, whatever. There's 1973, ties into 3Com, ties into this whole computerized illusion that they're selling us on your phones, on the TV. You see, it's artificial intelligence. Well, more to come, as usual. Let me just make sure I covered all my bases. Nope, that's it for this video. And we will continue on my next video.